Good evening and thanks for choosing KRTV. Katie Stuckey is off this evening. We begin in the courtroom. The Great Falls man who allegedly broke the leg of a 23-month-old boy pleads not guilty. Jordan Stone is charged with aggravated assault. Stone and his wife operate Chickadee Child Care. The victim was in his care at the time of the alleged assault. He originally told police the victim had been run over by another child on a tricycle, but court documents say he eventually confessed to becoming angry and pushed the child. If convicted of the felony charge, he faces a maximum of 20 years in prison, along with a $50,000 fine. A legislative referendum passed by Montana voters last November is being challenged in court. LR 121 prohibits state agencies from providing services to people who are not U.S. citizens or who have unlawfully entered the country. The Montana Immigrants Justice Alliance filed suit and is asking the First Judicial Court to place an injunction on the new law. They say it goes too far in its burden of proof and could harm applicants. But the state says the law is only meant to rightfully deny services to illegal immigrants.
The state has not provided any information, and says it doesn't have any, about how much illegal aliens cost the state of Montana. They have no information. So this law is probably, designed to combat a non-existent harm.
The plaintiffs don't really dispute that it's legitimate for the state to make as one of the eligibility criteria that you have to be a U.S. citizen or a eligible alien. They don't dispute that. Their dispute here is that is maybe the method that they think the state is using to determine that. But
the law also requires agencies to notify the U.S. Department of Homeland Security if non-citizens apply with an unlawful status. Judge Jeffrey Sherlock will render a decision at a later date. A bill aimed at providing stability in educational funding via oil and gas tax revenues is receiving bipartisan support. KRTV's Beth Beachy was able to catch up with area school superintendents and see how Senate Bill 175 could impact students right here and around the Big Sky.
When State Senator Lou Jones out of Conrad proposed a bill to put more money back into schools statewide, educators say, for less of a better word, they felt excited to see its bipartisan support.
It's got so many parts that provide things for the AA's, the A's, B's, and C's, and it provides property tax relief for those areas and those schools in areas that need that type of relief.
And the larger schools are seeing the wide spectrum of benefits Senate Bill 175 could provide for their institutions as well.
It's also beautifully balanced in that it allows a reduction in taxpayer costs at the same time that it provides a little increase in funding for school districts.
The bill aims to take tax revenues from oil and gas and put it back into those impact counties while also spreading it around across the state, providing consistent funding for education. Educators say this would be a welcome change.
It can happen with our legislature. All they have to do is make it happen. It's a bipartisan bill. It's not a Republican and Democrat bill. And this is something that they can really all come together on, and we're hoping that that's what happens.
Senate Bill 175's passed in the committee but still has yet to hit the Senate floor. Until then, local educators just want to stress what this bill could do for schools in the Treasure State.
It's something that's good for Montana and good for Montana public education.
In Great Falls, Beth Beachy, MTN News.
The bill is estimated to cut local property taxes by $19 million per year. Local school boards say the cuts will take the pressure off them to levy for additional revenue. The organization that files taxes for free is now offering filers access to assistance. This Saturday marks Tax Help Montana's first ever Super Saturday event, where residents can utilize the time waiting to have their taxes prepared to learn more about assistance programs. Organizers say many people assume they don't qualify for a hand up to it.
There are programs out there that aren't being fully utilized, and we want to make sure all of the spots are available, that the money stays in our community and people take it.
Some of the filing, getting your credit report, and even information on home ownership. You can participate in Super Saturday this Saturday and on the 23rd. Well, there weren't many dry eyes at Great Falls High this morning as students made a wish come true for one of their own. As Aaron Shermley reports, it was the pride and determination of the Bison family that made it possible.
I don't know, we've kind of had a bad rap, and it's just nice to see this school come together and on something.
Showing Great Falls High with the highest dropout rates among AA schools weighs heavy on the minds of students.
It's not something you want to be said about your school if you have any pride at all, which we all do.
definitely it targets us as like, wow, like look at Great Falls High and compared to all other schools, because I mean, nobody really looks in the middle of the pack. They're always going to look at who's first and who's last.
But one thing Great Falls High students have always come first in is pride and tradition. Part of that is lending a helping hand to those in need.
You don't know what it means to this little boy to get to go to Disney World.
This year, for a school-wide philanthropy project, students aim to make a Great Falls family's wish come true by donating to the Make-A-Wish program. A video co-produced by journalism students, Coin Wars, and a Fill the Bucket campaign all contributed to a nearly $4,000 donation.
Socioeconomically, we have a lot of kids who are living in families in poverty, and yet they rose to this with great pride and enthusiasm.
The money raised will send Deshaun and his family to Walt Disney World for a week. Deshaun suffers from a rare form of muscular dystrophy, but at least for a week he can forget his pain and just focus on being a kid.
It just made me really proud, because from an outsider's perspective, with all the negative media that we have, it seems like Great Falls High doesn't do very much for our community, but in reality it's like a Big Bison family, and we do pretty much everything that we can to help whoever needs it. So it was just nice to be able to show that.
In Great Falls, Erin Shermley, MTN News.
A return to more winter-like weather appears to be unfolding. Mike, does that include more snow?
Yes, it does include more snow. We've seen a couple of snow showers in the mountains the last couple of more widespread snow for this weekend. Pressure that's to the west right now. You see the southwest bringing in the clouds to north. This is overall going to be about a change as we head into the weekend, cooler and a bit snowier. Right now it's still 45 in Great Falls, 39 in Fort Benton. A bit cooler here, below freezing in Havre, Malta, and Glasgow along Highway 2 there, where we still have some snow on the ground. And if you are headed out this evening, I think you'll need that light jacket or sweatshirt because temperatures will be cool. 40 degrees at 7 o'clock. We're down to 35 by 9 p.m. Winds are light out of the southwest for the evening hours, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures go below freezing by midnight. We will look ahead to the snow chances here, and I'll show you the areas that could see over 2 feet of snow in the coming days. That's in Storm Tracker weather.